Hi, this is Sylvia, Lydia, Morelos. I am at Target at 3245 Sports Arena Boulevard. I'm a little pale. Looks like, let's take this off. Herb still. Actually, I am.
That's what
God bless it. You too, sir. I'm at 3245 Sports Arena Boulevard, 92110. Some perps still here. Very cruel when it comes to the games here at Target stores. I got a little friend here. My name is Gina. My name is Gina. Beautiful little monkey. I call him Chino. My dad's name is Charles Bronson. So I'm going to do this. Yes, my dad's name is Charles Bronson. You're the police officer. You started out. My mom was too. Michelle, a.k.a. Michelle Phillips, a.k.a. Charles Bronson. So I did this to him. He's got the beautiful little eyes. Look at him. Very beautiful. My name is Cheetah. Okay. He gives nice hugs. Nice to have a titty belt. Emergency reserve. My name is Cheetah. My own private little, it's my own little monkey. The other day I was combing it. It's like, how do you like my hair? I don't like it, but okay. You got cute little eyes.
Wow.
My name is Gina. So I'm at the Target. I'm walking around with my little monkey. I went into the toys games aisle and saw some beautiful dolls again. And I was looking at one her name starts with an M, and persons of interest in Pops. Persons of interest in Pops. And yeah, she's a black little doll. A black doll. We all know their kids are dead, right? Synthetics. So it's like they're making a fool out of themselves, getting in the way. And the sensors we're getting, we're not even going to bother with dead children and slave sensors on an innocent. So we're going to say the innocents also have sensors in it. Bye-bye now. That one's gone. And they're very cruel when it comes to the toys in there. There's one called with an M, a little girl with an M is directly for me. And my little girl would have been about 2009 Pop, about 7 or 8. And she has a pink little, they've implicated themselves in Pops, so they're in trouble. She's got a pink little ribbon on her hair. They're more like wiry. And they know about the Pops. And FedEx is involved. And the resource centers at 503 Olympic Boulevard, 90401 is involved, OPCC. And it reflects, we just caught that on video, it reflects what they did to my 7-week pregnancy in 2009 at UCSD Medical Center in Hillcrest. Katy Perry, a.k.a. Dr. Aaron Samplin, and Bono are purportedly involved in Pops in Santa Monica. And the black little girl, and she's wearing a Catholic outfit with a sweater and a skirt. And beautiful eyes, brown eyes, and they're trying to obviously get in the way to get rid of evidence It's in that same section with, there's another doll called Patience. That's also me with long hair, orange hair. You've seen the Flickr photos. My following, they'll see that with glasses. I think I showed you the last time I was on there. And then I have a red checkered, one has a red checkered long sleeve shirt. Nancy Reagan was my mom's, okay, Ronald Reagan is her uncle, so Nancy Reagan's her aunt, so she's her niece, and I'm the granddaughter of my grandmother, who was sister of Ronald Reagan. That's Maria Félix, aka Ernestina Orozco, Marilyn Monroe. And our mom was Michelle Phillips, aka Michelle Phillips. Her dad was Charles Bronson. He made a movie called Chino by Charles Bronson, a Western, as in Death Wish. And William Jackie Rose is depicted in Death Wish movies, and I think in the subway train in New York. And I watched a video of Blondie, one of the other ones. My mom was Blondie, and she was really young. And he's also in that video in the back, the hood rests in the back. And then you watch The Pretenders. My mom is also, it's just makeup, and stuff. And she's wearing, I'd like to move it, back in it's extrapolate science, it's not rocket science for, when you think about science. She's wearing a jean jacket and a black long turtleneck. That's what I wear. And she's implicating Kelly Quinn and Tom Petty. And in the background, you see William Jackie Rose at the Rocks in prison, back on the chain gang. He's gonna get out. I think also Motley in the back, present day also Motley, and then and then there's a couple of other more, and I think she also implicates. I love rock and roll. I think Kristen Stewart. I love rock and roll. It's a haircut. So I have been a chain smoker since I was 16 years old. My mom told me once when I was a teenager, so we're smoking out just taking out the chain gang. You start the little cycle over again, cheap labor, same old, same old. But AKA means they change their looks and different. It's Hollywood. You could take, she was Michelle Phillips, AKA when she followed my grandmother's footsteps in Mexico, became Beatriz Adriana. All their perpetrators are in the background in those videos. Also Motley, Doug Abers, Craig A. Latham with a fake ID, date of birth 8/14/74 from Alaska. Sarah Palin's perps. Sarah Palin's perps was on my mom because Sarah Palin was on my grandmother, aka Maria Félix, was Endora on Bewitched, and Samantha was my mom on Bewitched. You see in one episode, Omar Palacios' real dad. Omar Palacios is actually wearing the same face, like my age, and they all wore their parents' faces. It's kind of ridiculous, but Marco Antonio Solis is also in one of the videos, depicted in the videos as the bad guy. Then you've got the Hilton baby killers, David Spilio's girlfriend, ouch, and some of the other ones. The fact that these people don't know that's how greedy they are. Well, they'll do anything for money. We don't need to know, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the pyramid of their food chain gang, and David Griffin's like, I don't believe that's the real Sylvia, Gloria, Lydia, Morelos. That's not my problem. You'll die at UCLA, pal. And there's like Stacy Q staring right at him to the right at Rubio's. They turned off the lights, so he only sees part of the lights on. I'm not even going to explain that, but they should have done that. I took pictures of the threats to military families, cups, and the blue liquid with the blue straw in it, and the ketchup spots on the table. He wasn't aware of that either because he wasn't at the corner at the time. I took pictures, and then the help came and picked up the stuff before and threw it away. And I've seen some threats on University near Park University by one of the corner restaurants with white spots. Like I wouldn't catch that. So anyway, I'm looking at the I'm looking at the toys here, and we've inspired good things. I showed the toys on Princess Leia, which is Frida Kahlo. She's a descendant of ours. We're the Reagan family, so we're Mexican Jews in office. We were 1968, we were governor of California. We pay attention to the people who keep coming at us: Bush, Rand Paul, Ron Paul, Sarah Palin, Gray Davis, Obama, Donald Trump. He won't. We're like a younger generation. We're the kids of the civil rights leaders, and they went after our families. Hence the MK Ultra by the Obama administration. We don't have anything implanted in our skin. We're not stupid enough to be so greedy that, Johnny Depp asked them, well, how far would you go for money? They actually place that shit embedded in their skin, sensors. So I can feel this. You can do that to a bird in a cage somewhere, or a dog-pound dog. You just need some kind of barcode or number. And you can affect the bird and it'll go around in circles. Poor little bird's crying. You can do that to our skin, to our body. And they stole that information. I was listening to Chris Gillable once, and he said, I figured out how to use that by accident. I'm like, shit, you figured out how to use that by accident? It's like, turn this person away. How sadistic they're. It's like doing this to a person. Like, oh, go this one, and go that way. I'm like, that's not good. We're intellectuals. We don't do it by accident. And I'm hearing that they're using clips and staples inside their body, and then that'll affect, another person that they specifically target. And routing numbers to bank accounts of the funders or and they pay a direct deposit weekly, looks like, into, say Johnny Depp's account with the routing numbers. I can feel somebody filling up my, private part, with some saying Bono's name right next to it. And that's really sad. And I'm like, who the hell, and I'm like, we're talking very depraved people here. And so they go first, well, they're going to go no matter what, because you're not supposed to be enslavement is limited mobility. It's already a crime against humanity. Murder, it's genocide related. Mental abuse, physical abuse, all that is already a crime against humanity. Not that it should be a given not to disrespect a human being. So, Target is refreshing. They've targeted Target in the past. And if you pay attention to the San Diego Reader, which is located on 23rd and Broadway, 92101, the door has a picture. It has our grandmother on the wall. It has our grandmother on there when she was very young, probably in her early 30s or late 20s. And she's wearing a flamenco with a dress with a polka dots with Disney. She married Walt Disney, a military man, Italian military, which is great. And no, he infiltrated the Nazis, not the other way around. Just like Frida Kahlo infiltrated Las Cachuchas at 16. And the fact that you're wearing her face after she's, at that age, it says a lot about people. They're wearing dead people's faces is not good. Terrorist faces directly out of the newspaper, Wall Street Journal. I'm like, I just saw that person. They're wearing, you can get plastic surgery even and just do something like that. It's just crazy. And 23rd and Broadway, 92102, on the door, there's our grandmother, Ernestina Orozco, a.k.a. Maria Felix in Mexico, a Mexican actress. Jorge Negrete raped my grandmother, Maria Felix, a.k.a. Marilyn Monroe. Our mom followed in her footsteps. Michelle Phillips and the Mamas and the Papas became Beatriz Adriana in Mexico, right after, inspired by my grandmother. And I have been a chain smoker since I was 16, was raped by Bono in East Los Angeles. That's David Paul Houston. And she's been, fighting the Third Reich since she was a teenager. And then we made a beeline for Westwood. And I was born in 1974. And that's when I read Anne Frank's diary. Again, the epilogue this time. It said, in 1940, Hitler became chancellor of Nazi Germany. I'm like, wait, I think he's crazy. UCLA Chancellor Jean Block. I think he thinks he's Chancellor of Nazi Germany. Apparently, I think he's related to Netanyahu. He could be his twin brother. That's why I posted on my blog. Netanyahu equals Benjamin Netanyahu equals local Jean Block, Chancellor of UCLA. And I'm like, no wonder my mom made a beeline for UCLA. And I was trying to get it out because I was under stress. And then when you watch the movie Wonder Woman, which the women inspired, and I'm wearing Bobby, if I can't stand in Bobby's shoes, I'm like, I can take the sword, the rock, King Arthur. I adore my brother. Yes, I do. Oh my goodness. Hold him in high regard. I'm like, I'm like, he means the world to me. It's like he doesn't know that. It's like wow factor. So I'm like, as for my brother, but I'm gonna take it out. It's like it's really, I can take out the sword from the rock. It's really cool. And then we're like, Bobby. I'm wearing his hat, to like as a shield or as a hat, and in the movie Wonder Woman. and have his Princeton long sleeve shirt. Fits me. It's like big on me, you know. But I'm Bobby shoes, you know. I'm like, Bobby, I'm like, don't mess with my brother, my big brother. That's my baby sister. And they're like, oh, he always wears a a minute younger. It's like my mother, our grandmother. My mother was an only child. And our grandmother, Ernestina Ulloa Orozco, date of birth 8/14/1928. The Jalisco, Mexico. So Palin was on her from the get-go. There's something dispute about the part in the movie. I don't know. My grandmother was undercover, but beautiful lady, Mexican actress Maria Felix, who was raped by Jorge Negrete. Take a look at Gina Bodaca. He looks a lot like him. It's descendant of. So not an accident. These criminals coming up to me, war criminals. Clifford Karimi, his father raped my mother. Jay Johnson his son came after me to date. William Jackie Rhodes. Jonathan David Ford, his father was John Connolly. She had to deal with them, I think, during Vietnam when they were fighting over her. William Jackie Rhodes, apparently was fighting over the control of the helicopter that she was commanding, and they went after the Patriot kids or their kids, just like they said, Best Western Plus. Oh my God, I'm Best Western Plus. So I take a look at the movie. I'm sitting there. I had very long hair. And I'm off of Depakote now, so I'm not over 200 pounds. But in the movie, I looked a lot with long hair and braid the way, when I was 20. And, right now I've been in the weather a lot, harrowing conditions, homelessness, displacement, violence, malnutrition in the past, violence past, it's the conditions around me. But when I can flourish when my face is not that dry. I don't wear a lot of makeup at all, but I can hold my own. Look at his eye. He's not happy. And I've always had very long hair all the way down to the bottom of my back, and I had to cut it off on more than one occasion. I think once in Sacramento because I was angry, so I put 2 braids on and I had it really short in South Lafayette. I have the video for it. Then I cut it off again recently because of the lice that they threw at me after setting me at my hair on fire, and it's an incident, a hate crime in San Francisco was harrowing. But the Wonder Woman is a little girl with the long black hair as a doll's, and I have glasses on one of them. And my mom was with, the lady in the back with the long blonde hair. There's a picture with Jessie in the background and Renee Sacrubio and the 2 little girls, Kelly and Ashley Quinn. They were foster kids when they were little. So I'm thinking they were probably abused when they were little, so they need to be taken away and taken care of. My mom was CIA undercover. And I grew up thinking it was on welfare, and we were, but she was undercover. And so the girls were there, but I was already living with my grandmother and I was an adult. So I think Jose, Antonio Morelos, like, this is your sister. They showed me the picture. This is your sister. What are you talking about? And she's 4 years old, and this is your other sister, 2 years old. I'm like, well, foster sister. And I'm like, I didn't know that. And Jessie was the only one in the background. And there was Renee Sacrubio, another foster kid. And I think that his dad's in the movie, the video, Wendy's. Everyone knows it's Wendy. So I took a look at the video. This looks a lot like his dad. And the Quins belong to somebody else. I think she's one of the singers in ABBA. And Veronica Quinn, very self-centered lady, very cruel. Jessie was the one we had. It was only ours. I was already living away from home, going to college. And Jessie had Tourette's syndrome, so my mom took care of him. And she has a beautiful smile on her face with light hair. And she looks just like Amelia Earhart. If you look back at some of the pictures, somebody tried getting my attention a long time ago. Well, a historian online, with a hand like this. They know what happened to Jessie. And she's got this huge smile. And we're descendants of Amelia Earhart. And in the movie Wonder Woman, she's depicted as the guy, you're a man. The man is the guy with the light eyes next to her. And Amelia Earhart disguised herself as a man in order to infiltrate the Nazis or in the U.S. and she's depicting me, and I'm asking back my ancestor in the back. I'm realizing that you're a man. You're pretending to be a man. That I can only imagine. I mean, misogyny has been huge, rapes, and feminism, anti-feminism, and they never spoke about their pain. And I'd like to read that. And I took a look at Frida Kahlo because of the Pops one day, and I'm thinking to myself, I know her paintings. I'm like, I wonder what she meant when she portrayed herself on the bed with her baby splattered on the bed. I'm like, when I thought about when I thought about the pops and the little, you should see it. It's beautiful. A little girl with this Mava, beautiful black with a Catholic. She's gorgeous. And then my little girl would be about 7 or 8 right now, and and a beautiful little girl, part black. I would have had another son or daughter, another pop when I was 20. I wasn't aware that it was a murder. I'm like, it's not right. I was depressed. They came and got me at 6 weeks, told me without somebody to piggyback home. I go, maybe this is some just controversy, but my other daughter would have been born in 95, about in her 20s, so in Ecuador, Rodriguez Patrick. They were there to hurt. So one at 6 weeks, one at 7 weeks, 20 years apart. So I'm like, don't fuck with a mommy scorned, and I love my brothers. And then, there's more children lost in our family. So I want him to recover from that. And Jesse and his just a lot of kids lost in our family. And the Wonder Woman movie it blew me away. It's an epic movie, and it was beautiful. A lot of detail. You have to watch it more than once. You go down to Horton Plaza. That is Wonder Woman Central. It is Gloria Central, I call it, because you will see our mom's wearing like a crown and some kind of crown in the movie, and you still look at Macy's. And there's a Macy's has been the grandma. You see the movie Ghost in the Shell. Our grandmother is depicted as the older woman with dark hair. I'm the one with the short hair after lice, and that was filmed, looks like, at the USS Midway, just like the first movie where my mom was Blondie. She was making fun of probably Lois Gorilla, and with Harrison Ford. I forget the name of the movie, but it's also filmed around that area. Pirates of the Caribbean, USS Midway. Then I was on the right track. Why does my uncle, he's my grandfather, my grandmother's brother is Ronald Reagan, older brother, and her twin brother is John Wooden. So he is my great grandfather. I was trying to get that right. Why is he ugly? Because you see bulky, and it turns out that bulky is a stem of Armstrong, which is the dad of Billy Joe Armstrong, who worked for the Department of Defense, and he looks just like Bulky Curtis, C-U-R-T-I-S. And you'll see a portrait of him at the Dupree Library at the University of Lafayette, Louisiana. Actually, I actually walked into the library. I think I saw it online. And he is looking at a portrait in the hallway of the University of Lafayette, Louisiana. Like, that's his father. That's Billy Joe. Oh, wow. They give me a difficult time to understand him in Lafayette. And Bulky looks just like him. And look, and that's the monster. And I go, you misrepresented my great grandfather on the USS Reagan out at sea, is what you did. And they're like, correct. I'm like, oh, and then Johnny Depp's Kyra, and then you got Anthony Carrillo. That's Oswaldo Carrillo's older brother when he was at LA High School, and I was about to graduate class of 92. So my brother is Anthony. He's working at USPS office in high school. He was dating someone named Brenda, I believe, at school. It's hardcore Sandinista and a very a good orator, but they're just kind of backward because they're still believing that Marxist shit. That was filmed there. There is the It movie, and then the Hilton baby killers. Take a look at the Hilton. Let's look at one of our helicopters up there. Babies, Pop, Sylvan, Navy, military. Ouch. And then there's the alien movies, also around that tall buildings. Predators are us, and they're going to take it as a sexual predators. No, you also said the same thing about my mom. She said tetas, T-E-T-A-S. No, that's not what she meant. She knew these people were crass, big boobs, tits. That's not what she meant. And I'm thinking, I'm a strong English person. So I'm like, tetas is T-E-T-A-S. I'm like, no, that's estimated time of arrival, comma, 2S, Sylvia. So they didn't get that right either. And we've always been around crass people because we needed to go after them in the trenches when they went from Nazi Germany to hide in the United States. So we had to come down and find them. And my mom went, my grandmother went, my father went, and we don't go politicking when we're doing that. And I'm like, wait, politic in San Diego, stop. There's too much politics in San Diego, and then we'll continue the shifts. Like, there's too many politicians getting involved, and they're always hiding behind Sarah Palin, Jerry Brown, Who else was involved? There's a bunch of politicians came out, like dirty politicians. Like, okay, then we need to get rid of that shit, and then we can continue. And then there's Roosevelt. That's us, Francisco the Third. And then there's Dwight D. Eisenhower's descendant. All right, that's Rhodey. And then there's my big brother, one brother, and I have left, and that is Bobby, aka Tony, or Tony, aka Bobby, and I'm taking care of him in a private location. So and his baby sister, and anyone dare get near them, not gonna happen. Okay, so they're always aiming for us, and I'm like, they just hate us. And we are descendants of John Hancock, the Declarations of Independence. That's Rhodey, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Roosevelt. And we are also descendants of Benjamin Franklin. If you look at my grandmother's eyebrow, oh my gosh, she looks just like her. And we were Mexican Jews. That's just three families signers of the Declaration. We can maybe directly of the Declaration of Independence, Pennsylvania Constitutional Convention, and they came after it because these fundamentalists believe it's a living, breathing document. If they get rid of the descendants, then they won't exist anymore. So we're called the Patriot Kids. So we are Mexican Jews in office. If you take a look at the architecture around the U.S., the buildings in downtown Los Angeles, Jews and Mexican. You take a look at the Alien versus Predator movies, the Egyptian temple. It's alluding. Hello, it's actually a Mexican temple, and it's Jewish background, and just like UCLA by the rivers of Babylon. If you look at that video, you'll see UCLA has a fountain by the medical center, 100 medical center, 300 medical center. I'm like, oh my God, that is Jewish. And the architecture around UCLA made me very angry because the Armstrongs are very conniving. I'm like, they're trying to change the structure of the school. Construction cheap labor off of Strathmore and Westwood. And I stood there on Strathmore and Westwood, and I look across at the parking lot. That's Congress and Polk Street, 70501. They're trying to change it from University of Lafayette to UCLA because they're anti-Semites. So at night, when you look at the Strathmore and Westwood location, you will see the pods in the middle, the greenery in the middle, and then I'm like, walking around in circles, looking at the buildings and around me, and that is a Predator movie, Alien vs. Predator. It's great. So the pods, and Billy Joe Armstrong, he takes it a compliment. He's the one of the Ghostbusters, right? So the alien goes and he hits him in his face, impregnates him, and then it comes out through his stomach because they're gluttons, Glutton, gluttony. And the alien that impregnates him also ends up dying. So eventually they die. And it's a good metaphor. And I'm like, what happened in the 80s on campus that inspired the movie Alien? So if you go into Murphy Hall area across the way at night, you will see the lights in the middle of the quad. That's the exact same thing at USS Midway 41 with the strong lights in the middle. And you also see Predator buildings. And Predator means, to me, I think it means NATO. Ya llegó la hora de NATO, and they're going to take it as predators. And you see in the movie Predators, they're invisible. The soldiers were soldiers, and foot soldiers. And the technology we use is high tech. You can't see it. And the actual Predator tells you that, and you see they're actually really, they're depicted as tiny compared to us because, we're the heroes, we're the good people, and they see themselves as insignificant, like the Swamp Thing. I think Chris Gillibo compares themselves to when they take the potion, it actually affects you inside, and it brings out what you actually are, either a monster or a good person, and everyone who takes that turns into what they actually are. And the bald guy with the white long sleeve shirt turns into a little monster dude, and is a coward. I'm a coward, and I know it. I'm a coward. I think I heard Christopher. Yeah, it's me. I'm a coward. I know I'm a coward, and it's a good metaphor. But the Swamp Thing with Adrienne Barbeau, and the doctor is depicted as a beautiful human being and a scientist, and his hand keeps growing back, and it's a beautiful movie. The depiction that you see, if you watch that Alien, all the Alien movies. Alien versus Predator. It's the HF, and they land a ship in ice, and it's beautiful. And you take a look at UCLA, and then you see John Wooden Center. You see the number 42. I didn't say a goddamn word to David Griffin. He's a Gloria killer. I don't know. Like I was in front of him. He thinks it's a lie. You're a dead mother. I was thinking, it looks across the way at Ruby. That's Stacy Q. Look at Stacy Q. Another Gloria Salvation Army. Everything he's wearing, the Marines, came from Jonathan David Ford. There were illegal aliens who were, they took them out, murdered them in Albania. He's like, anybody want to be so-and-so? Like Jonathan David Ford with his tag number, with his tag, dog tag. And Lady Gadot in Albania did the same thing. Marines are the Marines. It's been kind of it's been an issue for years, looks like. And so you and whose army? Well, we've got the Navy, and we've got the Air Force, and we've got the Army. We're still good. All white supremacists. Now I understand, because they say you wear a white uniform, that's KKK. I'm like, it's not the KKK, it's military. They say they wear the white uniform, the Marine uniform, and they're saying it's KKK. I'm like, no, it's not KKK, it's USA military. And I'm like, I said no. They look at the white uniform as KKK because they took them over as KKK, anti-Semites. And they're all Veterans for Peace. Okay, so I'm like, the Veterans for Peace flag is hanging upside down in downtown San Diego, or across the way from a lot of places in the city, worldwide. The flags are also depicting anti-Veterans for Peace because they are crimes against humanity, Nazi criminals. They brag about being Confederates, descendants of Confederates, and so they're going out, and they keep threatening my brother Bobby. Please check to see if he's okay. The real one, there's a couple of them walking around pretending to be him, trying to get him out of the hospital. It's not going to happen, and they're looking for him, and they're intent on taking him out, and political assassinations. I'm like, Trump's not doing well. He's officially been impeached from office June 26, 2017, looks like the end of July, around May 24th, 2017, because of their criminal behavior. 6 months out of a 4-year term. You did the same thing to Richard Nixon. 3 years, 2 years? And they're still coming at it, and they're like, we'll just pin it on the next person. Right now it was the Electoral College. What, did I stutter? It's going to fall back on Donald Trump, Ronald Reagan, Ronald McDonald's. If you read the book, the Reagan Diaries, with all the pictures in there, take a look at the pictures. You'll see a lot of information in there. David Griffin is depicted in there by my great-grandfather, Ronald Reagan. Salvation Army is depicted as the White House in one of their war crime magazines. The real Salvation Army is military, is U.S. intelligence, White House. Take a look at the background. And one of the pictures, our great-grandfather, Ronald Reagan, is holding a toothbrush for homelessness. You'll be able to recognize it, and you compare it to the War Crime magazine, the original one, where she is female sitting at the desk. That is the Oval Office. So Salvation Army is a White House USA. And ArcLight Theater is also, they keep stealing my phones and my my laptops for a reason. But these are the people that are infiltrating MK Ultra, undermining business, Marxist, undermining government, Marxist. At this point, it's like, I think we've weeded out or pinpointed the politicians involved, a lot of deregistered sex offenders in California, and California does not deregister any sex offender. I looked it up a few years ago in Houston, and I understand why they gave me a difficult time. I was sitting at the Houston Library downtown, and one sex offender whose friends happened to work at the customer service area, they manipulate the reservation desk. He's like, don't post against deregistration of sex offender. I go, what do you think I'm going to do? And what do you think I'm going to do? And don't post against deregistration of sex offenders. I think, I'm an activist. What is your problem? And look at where we're at. And I'm like, oh. So they felt threatened by everything I do. And I remind them of Dr. Martin Luther King. That's verbatim by OPCC staff. We killed Dr. King. That's Trayvon, Diana Almanza, Joseph at 419 Dowling, Star of Hope, formerly Black Panthers. And we killed Dr. King. She is the new Dr. King on the Cesar Chavez. Like, shit, and then when Dr. King was a friend of our family, I don't take it as a bad thing, it's a compliment, but at Frida Kahlo in Mexico, she is an ancestor of ours, Ronald Reagan family, and Frank We are kin to Anne Frank, German Jew. So I'm a German Jew myself. If I look like Anne Frank, I'm related to Anne Frank. No, we didn't fix our faces. I didn't, I thought it was on welfare. So our looks are natural. And we've got a lot of descendants. If you look at Bobby, you look at a picture of my father, Charles Bronson, one of his movies with a white T-shirt with a V-neck, you'll see that he looks just like the splitting image of our father, Charles Bronson. And Jesse comes closer to looking like our father. He was also a descendant of Reagan and Charles Bronson. You owe us for that. And when I was a bigger girl with my glasses on, I looked more like Jesse and my father than I do now. But we are all related to him. And Bobby and I are fraternal twins. We were both born on the same day. And on April 20th, 1974, mind you, we've always known that Hitler was born on April 20th. And I was born at 4:29, it was a.m. And I'm a minute younger than Bobby as he was born at 4:28 a.m. And mom probably had a C-section, right? And Maria Felix, aka Marilyn Monroe, is a fraternal twin of John Wooden. Ernestina y Orozco, so we're Mexican Jews. And you will see the John Wooden statue a few feet away from the John Wooden Center at UCLA. And he does this in the Daily Brew in 1997. Wonder Woman does that. I'm his great granddaughter. So now I got that right. So in our family, the third generation survived. Two of us. Unfortunately, but our parents wanted us here, so I'm like, and our mom wanted me to. She wants me to be there for him. They were very brutal, if I may say so, to my big brother when he was little, and the Armstrongs I loathed because I think he was taken away as an understatement from them. And what they did to him was little brutalized, rape, you name it. He's a resilient person. I'm like, I still have family. Like, oh my God. And I thought it was all alone. Focus on your family, focus on your friends, keep your friends in circle small. 800 friends on Facebook. Who has 800 friends on Facebook? And I'm like, my name is Gina. And I'm very protective of him. And I'm very protective of Brody. And what they did to him in Arizona is unspeakable. And I'm very protective of Francisco. So I've got my family, and there's no say in the matter. And they're protected 24 hours a day, and are heroes, and they don't see it. And I was promoted to Secret Service White House M out on the street as a homeless detail. It's called homeless detail, and we've been trained since we were kids. Prompts, it's normal. We're military kids, so I moved around to 8 different schools growing up. And my name was Chibi's growing up, and I've got patriot hands. I'm like, what? When I watched the movie, Wonder Woman, I'm like, what is it what don't I know? Where Bobby and I are related to Saint Mary of Assisi. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, my hands are covered. My forelegs are covered. Braces. It looks like braces. I go, what don't I know? Why don't I remember? I blacked something out. I go, why do I see? Look at my hands. And I say, isn't this what I report? But why do I see little spots like that? And I've got like a little moon up here, like a little moon. One of my hands, like a little moon up here. And it looks like a little Viking ship here. And then I've got they look scaly. My hands are a little scaly. Look at that. So then my one wrist is smaller than the other wrist. One wrist is smaller than the other wrist. I took a look at it closely, and I'm like, then I've got the M here. I have a tan, so it looks like a W upside down. It's right here. And that is the Wonder Woman sign upside down. It's military for Air Force, Navy, Air. And you'll see the equivalent of 21st and J Street. If you go down, you go right on the United Methodist Church in the corner. They're going after the Patriot kids' families with the same insignia on it. It was an insignia, right? I was joking around. My mom brand me. And then my forearm looks to be very synthetic. So you could see it in the light. Little synthetic arm. And yeah, it's like right now I have a tan, so I'm tanning easily. And then I see my arms that are in shape. And I think Whitney Houston was trying to get my attention, and I'm the next Gloria. And you see my high school prom picture. I'm wearing a burgundy dress with long sleeves. And that's me. If you see how will I know? They're saying how will you know? If he really loves me. Oh, TLC. Garibay in there, or my Palacios is in there as a black guy and whispering in her ear, "I'm going to rape you. Sorry, I'm going to rape you," after the video. And it's a lot. It's a lot, and they did a lot of good being protective of me. It's just I was very angry with myself because I don't know myself as well as I thought I did. But yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm seeing little spots like that. Then I look at the inside. I've got like lines, 3 lines on this finger, right here. These 3 right here. And look at that. So I didn't know. Then I've got I think a constellation on the other one. This one's some kind of constellation. And oh wow, look at that. I'm like, wait, and it made me, well, don't I usually write about this? It's a neat. Look at that, it's scaly. And yeah, it's my birthmark. Hubby, I think, has the same kind of birthmark on his arm. And then I've got a ring cut here. And I know that our mom had this birthmark. I thought it was a birthmark. She had the exact same birthmark on this hand. I have it on my left one. She had it on her right arm here, right hand. And I think Hillary had a bitch fix. I was looking at this. I'm like, oh, these look like arrows here. Little arrows. Look at that. They look like little arrows. I go, oh, it reminds me of my mom. She used to draw things for me, like little. She was an artist, so she used to draw one arrow here, one arrow here, and there's a Y here, and then there's a cross here. I'm like, that reminds me of the Wonder Woman movie. Got my attention. I'm like, started looking at my hands. Like, I never look at my hands. I'm like, I'm like, what don't I know? And there's a cross here, which is the upside down, the cross at the God's extended hand. So, and then my fingers are crooked. There's one I remember seeing that somewhere. This one's crooked this way. This one's crooked that way. And then I have really big palms. I think my father must have been something to do with that. So I'm like a little weary because I'm like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, what don't I know? My forelegs are the same way on my feet. It made me angry when I saw the magazine that Salvation Army had with Wonder Woman. They know, but it's either us or them. If it's us, I'm happy. And I'm grateful because it meant a lot to me when I saw the movie. And I'm like, what is it that I don't know? They're very protective of. I felt very protective of me, and I know that there's a reason for that. And so I'm looking at the. And if I look at the movie, and I explain it to Bobby when I look at the movies, I'm like, oh my God, I love it. I think I said the same thing in one of my columns, I think at UCLA. I miss my mommy. And it's not that I was complaining, but I love my mom very much. I miss my mom. So when I'm like, never, and I'm like, you know what? She never abused me. I'm just, very, I miss my mom. She's very good. We lost our parents, and they know sacrifice and struggle. Sacrifice and struggle. He worries a lot about me. Bobby is like, don't go there. Sacrifice and struggle. It's not sacrifice, Baba. Oh my goodness, sacrifice and struggle. No, they don't. And he gets me angry because you don't need to be using that shit. You can do so much more. So I think that was Bobby. Like his stop was dropping on the floor. He's so angry. Oh God, dude. Oh my goodness. And I remind him a lot of our mom. I do, yeah. I remind him a lot of like a splitting image of her. I'm like, no, it's really me, your little bit daughter. Yeah, he's very protective of me. Otro petotita, another monster. Otro petotita, y otro petotita. Monster here, and he's got another monster here, and there's another one coming over here. he's pissed off. Los ojitos que pela. Otro petotita, y otro preciosita, y otro preciosita. Oh my God. He's so angry. He's not. He's like livid. He's not very beautiful. Yeah. He's very private about it, but he's very beautiful man.
Yeah.
Un chocolatito, cafecito. Oh my God, qué raro y precioso corazón. ¡Hola, precioso! Yeah, it's a friendship. They're beautiful. I made Secret Service, and I'm like, just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Dun, 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 dun. It's beautiful. Look at you. Yeah. He is Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, a beautiful Jedi, black Jedi. Yeah. Anakin Skywalker in the movie Star Wars. Guess who I am? Princess Leia. I just found a poster of a teenage Princess Leia. I'm like, oh wow, and I saw a couple of cereal boxes with myself holding a lifesaver, a sword lifesaver, and Bobby's wearing the red and black. I'm like, Bobby! And I saw Superman también, a bunch of, and many beautiful superheroes and huggable babies that are like this, Look at you. A lot of emphasis on family and children and parenting and so yeah, but look at that. Yeah, they're beautiful. This is Target, the toy store Target, like. Oh, good at that. And they've got the Amelia Earhart baby coats with the white and brown. They're very adorable. And the toy game section, very cool. So, Bobby! Look at Bobby. Little baby section over there. As I've always, I love Target very much. If you look at 23rd and Broadway at the San Diego Reader, you look down on the sidewalk. In front of the door, you will see Target. What did you people do to Target and Macy's? I noticed Macy's right away. They don't apostrophe S. Los que tienen el don de Sylvia, they're very pro-Jews. They have a red star, right next to it. It's wonderful, next to the Y. And the gray is celebrating our grandmother, older generation. You would see Ghost in the Shell. I'm like, somebody know. And I'm thinking, it's our grandma. She's beautiful. You see Omar Palacios like salivating. It's depravity galore. The bad guys are depicted in a very beautiful movie. And I already have my hair short, and they can see it that my body was in physical pain because the MK Ultra with the rainbow behind it. It's a good movie, and I think it's a remake of the Harrison Ford movie with my mom. I forget the name of it. It's a future movie, and it's a good movie. But I used to watch that when I was a kid, and I understand why. The Alien vs. Predator movies, Frida Kahlo. Che Guevara is a direct descendant of Charles Bronson, and Bobby looks like our dad, Charles Bronson. If you look at the book where it looks like Garibay is portraying, I think she's making fun of us, but she's portraying Frida Kahlo and our arms and stuff. You look at a portrait of Josefina or one of the other Frida Kahlo books, I think, with the monkey. That's much better. With the monkey representing, she has a monkey on her neck, just like our great grandfather Ronald Reagan, CA. And he was in movies with monkeys, and Frida Kahlo has one on her neck. She has very pained eyes. It caught my attention. I think she has pained eyes, and Amelia Earhart has pained eyes. And Anne Frank, Diary of Anne Frank. I take a lot after her. I think we're German Jews. We're directly related to Anne Frank. And so the Nazis come at us with so much hatred. When they come at us, I'm like, fucking Jew, you fucking kike. But, how does it feel to be hated so much because you're a fucking kike? And they threw lice in my hair, set my hair on fire, and on March 31st, on Cesar Chavez Day, 2 hours, went out at 1:30 in the morning at the bus stop. The last day of Women's History Month, and 1 week before Passover, like one fell swoop. Yeah, but in this day and age, it was just brutal for people to do something like that, to just set someone on fire, because it actually happened. And when they call us Kaisi, they say it in the full sense of the word. And they're like in the middle of the USA, and we beat them in World War I against the Nazis. And you went directly into enemy territory instead of going in the opposite direction. You know, what did you do to Hitler? Why did you come in this way? Why didn't you just disguise him and bring him into the U.S. with a different face, you know? So I'm thinking, I think people bail on him, you know, because, you know, they're jealous of their leaders. And I'm like, I've been studying you people, and you're not exactly prone to suicide at all. So you're that selfish and that greedy. And ironically, you know, Hitler put a bullet through his head when he realized that, you know, the Allies were there to defeat him. But who sent you in this direction? Number one, I'm thinking, why? He's going to ask. He knows people are going to ask, why did I kill myself? Because they're not prone to suicide. They're self-centered, me, and they're that greedy and that selfish. Why did I commit suicide? And at the same time thinking, well, he probably told his friends they betrayed me and killed the fuckers. You know, they just left me hanging. And so, you know, they hooked up with their Nazi friends here, thinking, oh, poor Hitler. You know, and, you know, David Griffin's a direct Nazi from the Greek Holocaust in Greece. So he's a real Nazi. So, and I heard someone say, there they are, that's a Nazi, and that's the real Anne Frank sitting in Ackerman Union Level A in front of the TV screen watching CNN. Like, there they are, that's Anne Frank, that's me. And that's Nazi from Greece, the Greek Holocaust. That's where he goes over to the Greek Orthodox Church in the Embarcadero. Katerina Chukal is involved. And then the other one, Nazi Czechoslovakia. Nancy Durthik and William Bill Reith, 10606 Oklahoma Drive, 10606. Dianne Feinstein, and she was the girlfriend of Benjamin Netanyahu in Czechoslovakia Holocaust. Then it looks like Charles Sandberg is a Nazi or descendant of a Nazi in Poland. So they're real Nazis then. So they come at us with a lot of hatred because here are the Reagans. That's Anne Frank. I hated Anne Frank. That's Dianne Feinstein. So they went after Veronica when she was little. She looked a lot like Anne Frank. And Feinstein had a fixation on her. Green Day, Rand Paul, Patrick Rodriguez, Daryl, Raul Payano Meli, U2 Bono. They called Unger Jaime Geraldo. And Jorge Ramos from Univision. Todos se le echaron encima a la niña because they figured out how to beat them. No, you don't like, what is her name? Sylvia saw my VHS video from UCLA. They don't like her. So what? She caught on, and I saw her. She caught on. It's like, I want to make fun of him. And she was a brilliant, beautiful singer. You heard me, past tense. And both her and Dennis, you know, they, oh, am I going to attack? You know, and they attacked her. And they gang up. And I looked at her. I was looking at her. And she had a realization, like, oh my God, no, they ganged up on you. And I'm like, you're the only one who understands. I'm like 40, huh? You're like 2. You're not supposed to be going through something like that, you know? And living like that. And I want you to marry my father. I'm like a Nazi anti-Semite. I think it's Hernan. And she goes, look at me. They're doing this to me. And they're like voyeurizing her in the restroom. And she knows what the NSA is like. She wanted me to see an image or, you know, at Wellspring. And I wasn't actually in the restroom, but you can see how they torture us. I'm like, I mean, this is what they're doing to me. This is what they're doing to me, you know. And I think he sat her on him in the bathtub naked. I'm like, look at me. Because I don't look at people. But she's like, I need you to see what he does to me. Or what they do to me. And she goes, I want you to marry my father. Are you saying that he's not good enough for you? I'm looking like, I've always been honest with her. I'm like, yes. I still love my father. She actually meant that. She was only 7 years old. And in Battleborn videos, she's the little girl with the Indiana State hat. She has long braids, black braids, and she has one eye missing with 3 X's on her hat. That is depicting and implicating Billy Joe Armstrong with the 3 X's on his sleeve, and it depicts the X's at 1620 Westwood Boulevard, 90024, the Gingerbread House, aka Dentistry, and that is where Dennis Griffin happens to sleep every fucking night in the little hallway with the other pervert there. And Dennis is also depicted in airstrike capability and a reckless disregard, death wish for the bad guys. He had a reckless disregard for his life. Bring it, and I think he said something about Bono, and the rumor had it in Houston that Bono had something to do with Dennis's death. And I'm like, and they pick on the children when they don't have anything else to do. That's why, witness the end of the Jehovah Witnesses with Michael Lownley, with holding a baby, a little girl hostage, just in case something didn't work out. Well, just torture the bitch and demand something, and they always, it always works out. And I'm like, the dawn of the Planet of the Apes, rise of the Planet of the Apes, planet of the Planet of the Apes, midnight in the Planet of the Apes. They never evil. And then it hit me. I've been studying David Griffin for the past 2.5 years at UCLA. Turns out he's been going there for 30 years, loitering at Ackerman Union. And if you look at his cap, he's wearing a USS Marine Corps. I'm a Marine. I'm like, fine. What is your real name? Fine. And he says, it says USS Marine, U.S. Marine. And he showed me his slip for SSA. He's on SSA, so he's not on VA benefits. He's wearing I'm like, it hit me. I'm like, we know the kids are dead, so stop it. So you saw I saw the Gap Band video, and he's in the video Party Train, and he is in the video You Dropped a Bomb on Me. And the one You Dropped a Bomb on Me, he's wearing what he's wearing now. He's always making fun of the military. He's wearing a pink vest. He's making fun of Gloria, a military woman. He's wearing a military scarf around his neck. I have a picture of Flickr with John Thomas Youngman wearing a red handkerchief around his neck. He's wearing, he has his sleeves rolled up and making fun. And when I looked at Gloria, when I looked at the Laura Branigan videos, and the other Party Train videos and Beatriz Adriana videos, he's wearing what he wears in there. He went after college women, and Laura Branigan is one. You can see the hands coming out in the hallway with the trash bags, black ones on the floor and on the sides. That's David Griffin. He wears trash bags in the Party Train video at Venice Beach. He's wearing, and you get sewed, it's a sewed shirt, long sleeve black shirt, but it's actually a trash bag. If you look at what he's wearing now in the days, he's wearing trash bag as pants. The old habits die hard. In the Party Train, he's wearing a chain, a choker. He's making fun of my mom and Jew, because if you see it in the Beatriz Adriana video, she's wearing the Star of David around her neck with a leopard print dress implicating the Armstrong family, Billy Joe Armstrong included, because they love wearing leopard. And they gave me a pink sweater at OPCC 503 Olympic Boulevard 9041 donations with little diamonds on the side. Diamonds are my girl best friend. Diamonds are also my birthstone on April 20th. And I wore it in front and I videotaped it on YouTube. I can't find it. Somebody still like, where's my sweater, David? he didn't catch on. That's not Sylvia. That's not. I'm like right in front of you, asshole. But he keeps sending people my way. Like he's following me. His stalker, a tall lookalike like him in San Francisco. Another one at Mary's house at 1321 North C Street with a green jacket. Then he sent another one to me, a shorter version at OPCC. Got his friends here, Veterans for Peace Los Angeles and Veterans for Peace Houston. Depraved individuals, gun security cameras. You're done, assholes. 503 Olympic Boulevard 90401. The NSA is recordable. We got him. And yeah, he's a very depraved individual. And and I raped all those bitches, and I got smart and I decided to send my own, the ones who are more intelligent, the whites, the ones who are Nazi whites, or the ones they're too intelligent, they're too good looking. I decided to kill two birds with one stone, hook them up with Gloria, and out they go. And they're the only ones left now because of that. It's like he came full circle. Come to find out, he paid David Rock, my former landlord at the Francis Hotel, 943 10th Avenue, 92101, $500 cash to get me out and harass me out of the building. And I'm like, I'm the reason you're homeless. I'm the reason you're starving. This is like last year. I'm like, excuse me? Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And then it came out in San Diego too. You did that to me in San Diego? Yeah, David Rock, the gang rape leader. And he came out as a terrorist. I think people saw it online, with wearing a radical Islam. And I'm looking at him like, and he raped Stacy Q. He raped Laura Brown again. I was raped by Joseph Reeds Jr., and that's being depicted in the video Self-Control. And it looks like, you know what? The opera, the Phantom of the Opera, that is the actual Reeds, Joseph Reeds. That's the real one, because he has a square back. I'm like, holy shit, that's the real guy. And he goes, that me? That looks like that's me. And I'm like, he did rape me when I was 25 at 10606 Oklahoma Drive when I was renting a room from his mother, Tina. Like, Tina, it's Hamas, come to find out, the movie Freddy Krueger. Tina, Hamas, FYI, Tina Baker, is what it's, I think it's implicating. Well, you look at everything that David Griffin's wearing. Old habits die hard. In the movie Beatriz Adriana, the video is not just David and Craig Latham. It's also Motley, Woldog Aber, Solorzano, Marco Antonio Solis. In that video alone, her perpetrators and Armstrongs, anti-Semites, and it's a lot of information. And I think you saw in the Google Plus, they try to turn people against one another. I'm like, wait, Jehovah equals Yahweh. I'm like, wait, Jehovah equals Yahweh. It's the same God. I'm like, Jehovah Witness, in parentheses, equals. I'm looking at, I think the Catholic Church on 12th and J. I was looking at one of these stations, and they forced me to wear with the technology torture. I always wear boots in the fall. I always go to Macy's, so I was trying to look for boots in the fall. Here, it's like, since it's college, so I don't have size 10. Kind of. I'm a size. I only have a size 9 every single time. So I'm like, when I walked into Macy's, the clothing one, not the furniture store, at Mission Valley Mall, I was forced to turn sideways. I'm like, ouch! And I saw these sandals, just with less string in the middle. I'm like, looking for boots. I can wear skirts. I go, well, I guess I'll just take, after that, I guess I'll just take the sandals. Walked into 12th and J. It's the Catholic Church in Sacramento. Went over to the station to the left side of the church. And I look at, one of my favorite stations, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ being crucified on the floor. And the asshole who is crucifying him is wearing those very same sandals. It is radical Islam. I'm thinking, and it made me furious. I took out the sandals and I went downstairs and I threw them away in the trash in the women's restroom. And Nancy Durthick had everything to do with that. And I look at the Co-op newspaper. And 2 years ago, when I found across the street from 3308 3rd Avenue, 95817, where they have the SMUD client list. I picked up the paper for one of those sentences. It's a co-op called Co-op CO-OP. One of the ladies who worked at Mary House at 1321 RC Street, she was wearing a red checkered shirt. And then right next to her, one of the ladies who works at Wellspring, because perpetrators here, 3414 4th Avenue, 95817. She teaches the art group, and she looks a lot like Chris Killable. She was wearing those sandals, and I had problems with also the women at the. That's very important. It's in the caption, and I was having problems with both those women at both centers. And they're anti-Semite sandals. That's what you'll see some of these Portlanders wearing them just to. And they know exactly what I'm looking at, and I'm like. And they use 520 Corinthians as a reference point to persecute Catholics. And this month, on the 15th, it's the 15 de Septiembre, Virgen de Guadalupe. celebration, and on the 26th or 29th is Rosh Hashanah Jewish celebration. I noticed a very small print in one of the City Beat or San Diego Reader magazines. Unfortunately, Green Day is going to be playing on the 13th. That's anti-Semite, and I look at it that way. They probably chose it. And U2 is playing on the 22nd. You know, Mattress, Qualcomm Stadium. They're anti-Semites, anti-Mexican. So I don't think that's an accident. And I remember, you know, it's just their time's up, and it's kind of nice. There's a lot to say, and this little guy helps a lot, and it's good to keep a journal. The journal that I kept online, I wrote it here in San Diego in 2006. I had kept the journals for a few years because I figured, you know, by writing, it's just, you know, it might be good. And then I decided, you know what, they're going to be misconstrued. I almost showed them to Dr. Strauss when I had him for a 4-year program at the outpatient day program in City Heights. But I thought better. I'm like, no, it's probably not a good idea. I'm like, it's probably going to be misconstrued. I had 3 journals. I tore them all up except for a few pages that I posted online. And I don't regret it because I think they would have misconstrued it, but then I regret it sometime. So if you keep a journal, that'll help, and you'll pinch yourself years later. If you could see me now, a young woman's life, and I was only 31 back then. I was using masking tape to write things down. I always scan stuff online, and come to Target. I think they have a lot of wonderful toys, and I'm going to go back to downtown San Diego, and we've got some and there's a lot of work to do this weekend, cleaning house, and Monday is the 4th of Labor Day, 4th of September, Labor Day, and my brothers that request 24/7, you're not coming out. No. And they're adamant about finding him in there to keep terrorizing our family, using reasonable fear to the nth degree. I'm sick of it, you know, and the depravity I'm sick of, and they don't know, these little guys are not so little, and they don't see it. So I'm like, he doesn't see it. He calls me an angel. He was half asleep when he woke up. Like, looks up at me. She's still there? Yeah, she's still there. He's like, angel. I'm like, oh my God. He calls me an angel. I didn't know that. I'm like, oh my God. He's calling me an angel. I'm like, you're the angel, Papa. But it's usually that. He has this wow factor that he doesn't see. And the others are the same way. And they're beautiful souls. And I'm very honored to be a good inspiration in a lot of other people's lives. And my brother is the same way. And he doesn't see it, but I have to see him. You're my hero. You're my hero of all heroes. I just saw Jesse. He is the Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk. And there's a new movie coming out depicting Bruce Lee. I saw it at Horn Plaza. Jesse. It's wonderful. No. And I don't want to lose him either. So I'm like, we're going to be roommates. No man! I go like, no man. Oh God, no. I'm like, no, I like being an old man, but don't worry. I'm gonna not fly away, so I'm gonna go. No, you're not gonna go, my big brother. My sister, that's my baby sister. I don't like it. Oh God, no. And Brody. Hi, Brody. And Francisco. Hi, Francisco the third. We love you. That's family. We're gonna bunk together. So look at that. It's gonna be fun. Lots to catch up on. Un chocolatito. Le voy a dar un chocolatito, abuelita, petoto. Correct. I'm always worried about him in the back of my mind. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. It's good to get yourself a teddy bear. You can get one at a secondhand store. There's a Salvation Army thrift store close by here, off a park and Broadway in the back, and you can hug it at night. You know, oh my goodness, look at that! Oh my goodness, look at that! Oh goodness, look at it. Apparently you don't know. Oh, God. Yeah. Has a lot to recover from. He's like, sacrifice and struggle. Sacrifice and demand. God, yeah, it's not a sacrifice, but it could be done. Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah. I'm happiest girl in the whole world. Oh, my God, dude. Tough. He's gorgeous. No, te vas a ir. No. Just a spoonful of sugar makes it medicine. Medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar makes it medicine go down. Indefinite, please. All three of them. Oh, I love them all. Oh, God. Oh. He's getting better, but PTSD. Yeah, heroes. The only time I'm going to say more power to our heroes, military hero. Yeah. Who's this? Who's this? I can't take care of your pet. Oh my goodness. Oh, goodness. Mom loved you very much. Very much. Very much. Lots to catch up. She wants me to show you. No. No. He's like, I do. It's called hi. Oh God. Validation, but don't you need to make a mockery of family. Family and community. Family and community. No story. ¿Qué pasó? No, your place of vista. You're not going there. No. Is this there?
When you see Francisco,
validation.
You tell him that I got a compliment and he wasn't here.
Because I don't pretend things are okay in the outside world. It is so it's very important. Take time out for family, no matter what. Family and community, they go after all the time. Very cruel the way they attack families. Mad Max is a good example of that. Nancy Jensen Journal on YouTube was another one. It's very cruel because they know that this is the way we get along, and this is the way I love him, and he's depicted on there. The baby that I'm holding, oh my God, but that is very cruel. I'm like, oh no, invading our privacy. Oh, so good. So, Rhodian, no exceptions, very no contact. Yeah, they're my number one priority. No. No. Oh my goodness. I've got to go. And I'm going to share. Invasion of privacy to the nth degree. Inside, outside. I have a right to be secure in my personal effects, my papers, I have to amend it, my person, my body, my mind, my feelings, my dreams, my family. Ya nos vemos. Good, good, so good. See you later, alligator. Let's catch the bad guys.